Hi guys, welcome to Crypto Bin 101, the home of value and good information when it comes to cryptocurrency trading and investment. And this is the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show where we trade it and we do not gamble it. And I'm coming to you live from the studio where we discuss about what really matters and what is going on with the cryptocurrency market. But as you all know, before we start the show, I always like to share the link so people can as well join us on this great platform. And there is a twist to the show now. I've seen what you guys talked about, and I am going to, stick to that since that is what you guys want. And this show is all about giving value to you guys to have more understanding of cryptocurrency and what is really going on in the space. And that's exactly what we'll be doing. So as you all know, normally we start with the news, move to what will I call it? To move to different segments. Sorry, I'm just trying to post. Just give me something. Let me post finish. Then we can continue. I always like to post this thing before the show, but if you do that, it's not going to give you the best link. So that's why I like to, when you're live, then you can copy the link and share. But that will just be done right now. This is just the last one. Then we can get back right at it. But how are you guys doing? I hope you are making profit, and I hope you're trading carefully, because trading is all about making profit, guys. Yeah, let me post this. Well, let me pull back. Let's see. Yeah, the preview is nice. And done. Yes, it's now on all the platforms to see that we are live, and they can join us on this great show. I'm just posting in the group, and if you're not in the group, you might want to join. The links are down in the description. You can join the Telegram group. Anyone you like, the links are down in the description. All right, my name still remain the same. I'm Ahmed Oladmeji Kazim, aka KC the Great, and this is the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show where we trade it and we do not gamble it. And thanks for tuning in this morning. Today, Friday, the 3rd of October 2025, and if you're just joining the show for the first time, please subscribe, like, and share. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell as well. And also, you can follow me on X. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on TikTok. And also, you can catch me on Instagram as well. So we can have a lot to talk about. But without wasting our time, let's dive into the show. If you look at what is going on with Bitcoin right now, you see that BTC has been moving from our entry point. You can see our entry point here, and you can see our signal line here, which is the green. It shows us still a buy on a weekly time frame. That's how we know our signal line. But we can see that the entry point is still moving nicely. So now we can move our stop loss or our stop out to around 118,000 now, in case we're going to see a massive pullback that is now going to give us a kicker to get out of the market. But the floor still remain here now which is around 112 and thereabout. But let's take a look at what is going on with the news regarding BTC. And if you look at BTC is now risen to number 7 place on the global assets ranking, and that is beautiful. You can see Bitcoin, the pioneer of cryptocurrency, surpassed the 120,000 level again, increasing its market value to over 2.4 trillion US dollars. And you can see it has now surpasses Amazon. You can see Bitcoin has now surpasses what? Amazon. It's now number 7 on the global asset, and Bitcoin with gain of about 1.84% in the past 24 hours is now once again competing with traditional market giant, which is silver. Silver is ahead of Bitcoin, and I believe with time we are going to done that. And according to experts, the rise is driven by increasing uncertainty in the global economy, interest rate cut signals from the central banks, and demand for cryptocurrency seeking protection from risks. It also emphasized that the interest of the institutional investors through ETFs has created a permanent momentum in Bitcoin market value. Bitcoin surpassing of a major tech company like Amazon has once again highlighted the competitiveness of of the crypto asset in the traditional financial market. Analysts predict that Bitcoin could surpass silver in the coming period. I'm not even doubting that. I know that will be, because if you look at what happened with the ETF inflow, immediately we started seeing ETF inflow, the market start pumping. And it's what I'm always telling you guys, that now we now have what is it called, the smart money in Bitcoin. Now it's no longer just the community driven or some crypto beginners or whatever. Now we've got smart money in the game, and you need to notice this. Whenever you see streak of outflows from ETF, you start seeing market falling. Whenever you see inflow coming in by, you start seeing going on. So indirectly, it's now looking like these big boys are now the one manipulating the market, just the way they are doing with the commodity stocks and Forex. And that's how it's going to be. That is why knowing how to trade is very important. Knowing how to trade is very important if you want to trade all these asset classes, because I'm not going to lie to you, before we can predict how the market is going to move, because we don't have them in crypto. But now that we have them in crypto, we're going to be seeing crazy things happening, like crashes, volatility. If we have any economic event that doesn't suit them, they're going to dump it, and you can't do anything. Because imagine, BlackRock is in the game, Grayscale is in the game, Vanguard is in the game. You cannot compete with those guys. They have assets under management worth trillions of dollars. So how can you compete with those guys? Rather, you need to understand how the fundamental work with the technical analysis, and by that you will always know when to buy, when to sell, because it's like you're following their footstep. If you see them selling, you need to get out of the market. Then if you see them buying again, you need to but if they are selling and you want to go against them and buying, I'm sorry, you're going to keep losing your money. And that is what we're seeing. The moment we saw the ETF start flowing in back, we saw the market start moving up. And now what is now pushing this is because they think probably there will be interest rate cuts. And I'm telling you, if the next interest rate cut should happen and we don't have more than 25 again, they might dump it again, and maybe they'll look for another asset class, and that is when we're going to see BTC start moving into bear market. But that is not all. After we've seen BTC doing that, now we saw almighty JPMorgan, to come out and say Bitcoin is undervalued, and that is really, really a great statement from a big, investment financial institution like that. I'm not going to lie to you, because JPMorgan says Bitcoin undervalued against gold and could rally to 165. Not even 165, we can see that even some people are now believing BTC could reach 180,000 this bull cycle, as ETF inflow and falling exchange reserve strengthen rally. But let's go back to the JMP real quick. You see that now they said BTC is overvalued and it's really going to hit 165. And if you see right here, top US bank JPMorgan has continued to predict that Bitcoin would follow the trajectory of gold. We saw gold hitting all-time highs, back to back, creating the all-time highs. And now, this time they're citing that the volatility adjustment method. Now, they claim that Bitcoin is undervalued compared to gold. This sentiment is widespread among prominent industry leaders as they match the pioneer cryptocurrency toe-to-toe with the precious metal. The 3.6 trillion bank then projected that Bitcoin would climb to 165,000, closing the gap with gold current volatility adjustment valuation. At the time of this writing, Bitcoin was trading at 190 and rallied to new all-time high will mark a 38 increase. But what I'm trying to say is, if JMP can come out to say this, I'm not going to lie, we might see the market start moving a little bit upward. But moving upward doesn't mean the market won't a structure like a V, because if you look at what is going on BTC right now, look at the all-time high here. We have the all-time high at 124,500, and when we saw the all-time high 124,500 thereabout, we saw a drop past 110, but we couldn't break this low that was created, which is the 107, 108 thereabout. Then we saw the ETF started flowing in and the market started moving. Why do we have this fall? Because of, okay, is this one. Why do we have this one? Because the rate cut wasn't really moving good. And now, don't be surprised, maybe we are seeing this pump because we have the government shutdown. People might be thinking bond yields, all of that might be affected, and look for a safe haven for a temporarily term, a short period of time before they move back to their asset class. So maybe that will be the reason why this. But now seeing JPMorgan saying Bitcoin is undervalued, that is huge, and I feel like we need to pay attention to that. But remember, this is not financial advice, it's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research. All right, let's move on. Another news regarding BTC, and this one is Bitcoin could reach 180K as ETF flow and falling exchange. Spot ETF Bitcoin recorded about 675 million inflow over 3 days, signaling growing institutional adoption. We all know they are in the game, guys. I told you, smart money are now in crypto, so you must know how to trade. Don't trade blindly. And if you're interested in learning how to trade or getting signals for trading, you might want to join my Telegram channel. The links are down in the description, and you can be part of the community. It's trading, it's Instacash trading community. You can join that as well. Exchange reserve are at their lowest since 2018, limiting tradable supply and supporting upward pressure. Bitcoin price near 118,000. That's when they were writing this, because we now know Bitcoin is trading at 120. But this is another prediction saying Bitcoin could reach 100 and what? 180. And if you look at the chart, let's take a look at 180 real quick. Let's say we have this whole movement like this. Let's bring it down like this. You know, BTC will always move in this. We have a gap here, we didn't break it. That is nice, and that is why We bounce back from there, and now we have a gap here where we broke it. But now let's measure the way the BTC has been moving. If we measure this, excuse me, not that one. Let's use this. Okay, it's here. Now, if we measure from where it broke out to this point, and we pick it and put it to this point, you can see the market really went a little bit above it. Now, let's use the same metric to see if the 180 is substantial. From here to this point, you see, then let's bring it up to here, because we're breaking out above it. So 150 thereabout, it's certain, but we all know we might see it growing out. Although my own prediction is we might break the all-time high again and hit about 130 something to 140, but 185, nothing is impossible as long as the ETFs keep coming in. But the moment we see the ETFs stop flowing in, the market is going to drop, because that is what has been propelling BTC this bull cycle. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you look at what has been propelling the market this bull cycle, it's been ETF. Look at when Ethereum was pumping. ETH was pumping because the ETF was flowing from all these institutions. And that is why I'm thinking we might have altcoin season later, because we know we have Solana, XRP, ADA, some ETFs line up for SEC to approve. And if that has been approved, it might get delayed now because of the government shutdown. It might get delayed. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm going to show you possibly the time they will come back. It might get delayed, but if we eventually have it approved, we might see now, because of the ETF, all those other altcoins apart from ETH will start to perform very well, and maybe that's when we're going to have the altcoin season. But with that, let's wait and see if we're going to break this 125,000 first. We need to break that first. If we break it, then we know 130, 150 thereabout might be possible, but we need to be careful. All right, speaking about BTC, getting to that point, we've now seen that even Ethereum is not left out of the game, because if you look at ETH right now, 2 billion USDT just minted on Ethereum platform, and that is fresh liquidation for October, as we always call it. And if you look at it, you see that the new mint underscore Ethereum critical role in digital asset ecosystem has backbone for decentralized finance, institutional inflow, and exchange liquidity. The crypto giant consistently attracts stablecoin issuance that fuel both spot and derivative market. The growing supply also highlight its resilience as the network of choice for major issuers like Theta, despite higher transaction costs compared to other blockchain. So this is really another thing to take a look at, because if we have 2 billion US dollars being minted, where is the money going to come to? Those money will flow into different assets. Ethereum, different asset. I don't want to mention any crypto, but it's going to flow into different assets. And that is another huge signal for this October, to be sure that we're going to see massive rally in this October. But I'm just waiting for all these all-time highs to be broken before we can say anything. But like we said, Bitcoin is still a buy. You can still hold on to your BTC while the floor is around 112, or if you break 118 as a daily trader, you might want to leave. But if you're an investor holding for a long time, you have to wait for it to break 110. But now let's move to ETH. Let's talk about Ethereum real quick. And if you look at Ethereum, you see that Ethereum too is now starting to move up with BTC that was sold. So now Ethereum 2 is still a buy. If you're holding on to your Ethereum portfolio or one of the major assets, Ethereum is still a buy until it breaks 4,003 or let's say if you break $4,000, then we can say we can get out of the market. But ETH also is still a buy. And if you look at the charts with the money printed now, I'm expecting a huge rally. Maybe the market is just going to pull down to around 4,002 thereabout. Then we're going to see huge movement. They probably break the all-time high that we just saw at 4,009 thereabout. If we can break that, then ETH will move ahead to the 10,000, 15,000 everyone is talking about. But mind you, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research. So what I'll be watching on Ethereum today is, let's see if this pullback is going to engulf this daily candle. If it engulfs it, then we're going to see if we need to leave the market. So the best place to put your stop out right now is at $4,000 thereabout. Put your stop out at $4,000. Let's see what today candle is going to print. If we have an engulfing candle, fine. If we don't, that means the rally continues. Then we are still going to stay on ETH. So Ethereum is still a buy. If you're holding on to Ethereum, Ethereum is still a buy. So we don't need to sell our ETH right now. If you're in the trade, Ethereum is still a buy. Your stop out should be at 4,080 or 4,000 US dollar. That's where you should put your stop out. So ETH is still a buy and is looking good. Even if you take a look at it on a weekly, you see that on a weekly is now starting to move ahead of the last week candle, recovering all the push down and is breaking above. So ETH is still a buy. Let's now move to another altcoins. And on the news, we found that XRP BNB surge, boosting crypto enthusiasm. And if you look at it, you see that XRP remain above $3 due to ETF anticipation that is going to happen. Also, BNB crosses $1,001, attracting interest in its ecosystem project. And also, Dogecoin fluctuates between 0.25 and 0.26 in technical pattern observation. So let's take a look at that on the chart and see what is going on with we all say Ethereum is still a buy, so you can go there. So let's check BNB out. If you look at BNB, we all know BNB smashed $1,000 milestone, and that is huge. And now if you watched the show yesterday, I told you guys that now they're reducing the gas fee. So instead of charging 0.5 or 0.1, it will now be 0.005 or 0.05 GUI, and that is great. And that is why I believe we might see BNB pushing higher a little bit this remaining bull cycle. Maybe we're going to hit 1,005. I don't know where it's going to go. The chart is going to tell us. But if you look at BNB, after we have a kicker around 1,004, the market pushed back. Then we saw another entry here from 1,003 thereabout. That means it's like the continuation of where we get out earlier on. So BNB is still a buy and is looking great, because if you look at the movement, you can see this is a structure and we move above. So if you are not in the trade already, maybe we might just see it break down to around this $1,035, then it will start moving up. But BNB is still a buy. So if you're holding on to BNB token, you might still want to hold on to that and not close your trade yet, as BNB it's still a buy. But where do you need to get out in case the market changes at any time? We need to watch if it's going to break $1,000 back. Yeah, if BNB should break $1,000 back, we might want to get out. But for now, BNB is still a buy and is looking great. But remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. And make sure you do your own research and always trade with the money you can afford to lose. All right, on the news, we saw XRP as well. Let's take a look at XRP. And when you look at XRP, you see that XRP is been dropping down, creating a lower low, lower high, lower low. Then we break above this, couldn't maintain it, start falling down. But we know that XRP has now giving us a buyback. You can see we have the structure here, and that is a buy right there. You can see XRP is now a buy. We can buy, we can get into XRP right now. And if you've been watching the show, I told you the moment it breaks above $3, we can get into XRP. So XRP is a buy right now, and our stop loss will be right here at $2.6 thereabout. So you can get into XRP now, then we're gonna get out at $2.6 if anything should happen, or we have a kicker. If we have a kicker to come up, but this is not an independent kicker, so we're not going to use it. So we just need to wait for it to break that. So XRP, it's a buy right now, and our stop loss will be around $2.6. So if you are a lover of XRP and you want to get into it, I think this is the best time to jump on it. But remember, this is not financial advice. Make sure you do your own research and trade with money you can afford to lose. But XRP is looking good now. It's now starting to move up. Let's see if it's going to test 3.6 thereabout again, as it's starting to move up right now. Let's take a look at another news, and that we saw on the news, and that is Dogecoin. We saw Dogecoin on the news, and I told you Dogecoin has always been a buy. See where the entry of Dogecoin, when I told you guys to get in right there. You see, so Dogecoin is still a buy, but now I'm afraid if Dogecoin should come and break this 0.246 in a kicker level, we might want to step aside a little bit and wait for a structure, because you see, anytime we see a kicker, you can see we have it here, Dogecoin drop. Let's look for another kicker. We have it. Okay, this is an engulfing. Let's look for another kicker. Here is another kick. No, this is an engulfing as well. Let's go. We're gonna see another kicker right there. You can see here is another kicker. We have another kicker right there. The market drops. So if the market could not hold on today and we have it to become a kicker below 0.245, I'm thinking we might just get out of Dogecoin as well. All right, that's about Dogecoin. Let's check what is really on the news again. And now you can see Ripple CEO respond to Swift banking announcement, and you know there's been this up and down between this Ripple want to replace Swift or work together, and Swift is not really buying the idea, want to team with another Ethereum token, or they're even trying to test with Chainlink, so we don't know which one they're going to come about. But with what they posted now, CEO Brad now said he pushed back against Swift announcement of a blockchain-based shared ledger prototype, arguing that the move looks more like a publicity stunt than a true leap forward in financial technology. His remarks shared in recent shareholder letter and explained by Jay Clever, the CEO of Digital Ascension Group, have reignited debate over Ripple's dominance in cross-border payment space. You know, I keep telling you guys that not that Ripple, they are not trying, but I feel like it's just the model behind them that a lot of people are not buying, because they feel like even though you let Ripple should handle it, it's still going to be like the traditional market, and everybody want to own their money. They don't want to let anyone control them and all of that. You can see the Twitter and everything about the whole thing that happened regarding that. But now I've got major news again, huge news, big news that I won't lie to you, this is crazy. This is really crazy, and this is it. CME Group plans 247 cryptocurrency and what? And options trading starting in year 2026. That is big. I'm not going to lie to you. That is big for cryptocurrency space, because we all know that CME Group is not a small company, and now they announced that it will offer around the clock trading for cryptocurrency futures and options beginning in early 2026, pending regulatory approval. The derivative marketplace said the change responds to client demand for continuous cryptocurrency trading access. Why not all markets lend themselves to operating 24/7? Client demand for around-the-clock cryptocurrency trading has grown as market participants need to manage their risks every day of the week. That is really good news if this should happen. And the CME Group reported record volume for cryptocurrency futures and options in 2025. The company reached record notional open interest of 39 billion on September 18, and August average daily open interest hit 335,200 contract, representing 95% year-over-year growth and 31.6 billion in notional value. So this is going to be huge, guys, if this come to be 24/7 cryptocurrency and option trading starting early 2026. Another great news I have to share with you guys is Thailand may now allow altcoin ETFs in 2026 as Bitcoin focused products remain dominant. You can see great news are coming out of this. Let's take a look at one more thing before we now go to the chart analysis fully again. And you can see US government shutdown likely to drag past October 15, and that is coming from Poly Market, and we all know sometimes they give good prediction to be approved after they come back on. All right, that's what I have for you on the news analysis this morning. Let's now go right into what the market cap looks like. Let's check what the market cap looks like. And if you look at let's take a look at the what's it called first, the event of the day. Let's see what event will be happening today so we can know how our trade is going to go. So let's take a look at today. Yeah, that's today being Friday, the 3rd of October 2025, and you can see we have average hour earnings, non-farm change, unemployment rate. All these are supposed to come out today, but due to the government shutdown, you can see the time is not really there, so we just need to watch out. And we're going to see ISM PMI to come out at 4 p.m. yesterday. Also, let me see if the data that was supposed to come out yesterday later dropped. Yeah, you can see unemployment rate and all of that, they dropped, but they didn't put the time for today, but we should know it will happen around this time, which is around 2:30 p.m. SCST time, and that's 12:30 p.m. GMT, depending on where you're watching from. All right, let's take a look at what the cryptocurrency market is looking like. And you can see we are now trading at, the total market cap is now 24 hours. And if you look at the screen, you can see A-Star is still trending, having gaining some momentum back after the fall off. Pancake Swap is trending, Plasma is trending. You can see the top gainers right there. All right, let's take a look at the ranking and see if some tokens have dethroned each other. And if you look at BTC, it's going to be wild to see any coin dethroning BTC. So Bitcoin still remain number 1, Ethereum at number 2, XRP at number 3, Theta at number 4, BNB at number 5, Solana at number 6. You can see USDC at number 7, Dogecoin at number 8, and Lido Stake at number 9, while Tron still maintain number. So the cryptocurrency market cap kind of remain the same with what we saw yesterday. And if you're interested in knowing where your project sits on the cryptocurrency market cap, talking about ranking, you might want to check that out on CoinGecko.com, and you will get to know what that is all about. And if you're still watching the show till now, thanks for joining me live and direct from the studio. But please and please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please and please do that right now. Subscribe, like, and share. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you will always be part of people that get all this content as we drop it immediately. Also, you can follow me on all my social media handles. You can follow me on X, you can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on TikTok, and even on Instagram to get more of this nugget. Please and please like so the algorithm can pick the video and show it more to a lot of people out there. Remember, this is a show that is bringing value, as in bringing a lot of things for the people, so people will be aware of whatever they're doing on this space, so they don't just get misinformed or trade blinded. All right, let's now dive into the chart analysis fully. We've spoke about BTC, that BTC is still a buy, Ethereum is still a buy. Let's take a look at Link is still a buy. You can see, let's take a look at AAV is still a buy. Let's take a look at Solana is still a buy. BNB, of course, we've said it is still a buy. Litecoin is still a buy. SUI is still a buy. AVAX is still a buy, but AVAX is trying to pull back right here. But let's see if the pullback will not break $28. If it's breaking $28, I'm afraid we might want to step aside from AVAX. Let's take a look at ADA. ADA is still a buy only if you break this 0.8 zone, or you wait for it to break 0.77. Let's take a look at XRP. No, we did that already. It's still a buy. Let's take a look at TON. TON is not a buy yet. We need to break above this for us to get into TON, excuse me. You can see we need to break above 2.85 before you should get into TON. Let's take a look at A-Star DEX. A-Star is not a buy yet. I'm not gonna lie to you. Forget about the recovery we're seeing, although it's a buy using the Fibonacci, because you can see the hand. It's a buy because it crossed this point, but I would say let's break this $2, then we know A-Star is sure for us 100%. All right, let's take a look at Pump Fund. Pump Fund, it's a buy here and it's still a buy, but if we should break this 0.0066, that is a kicker. We might want to step aside a little bit and wait for it to break above it. Let's take a look at Ondo. Ondo is still a buy. So basically, most of the altcoins, they're looking great, and I think they're still a buy. But now let's take a look at the meme tokens. And if you look at the meme tokens, Dogecoin, yeah, Dogecoin is still a buy. It's looking good. Let's take a look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is a buy, but now we are seeing a kicker forming right there. So let's see if this kicker is going to break it, or we'll wait if it's breaking 0.115. But the moment we have a kicker, I'm afraid we might want to step aside. That is 0.0112. Let's take a look at Popcat. Popcat is still a buy, but it's about to break a kicker. So mostly, if you're looking at all these meme coins, they are not really moving like that compared to the altcoins. You can see they move a little bit. They're about to hit a kicker. So Pepe is still a buy. Trump token, it has broken out now. Let's see if it's going to break above $7.8. Then we'll see if we're going to get into it. Millennial token is a buy now. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a nice structure. No, it's not a buy, because this is a nice structure. Then we need to break above 0.20 cent for us to have a proper saying it's a buy. So more or less, the meme coins are not performing greatly like the altcoins, but we can see the altcoins, they are holding on to that. So maybe it's becoming altcoin season, who knows? But BTC has been smashing it as well, as we see the eruption of cryptocurrency pushing Bitcoin to $120,000 before now trading at 119 as we speak. But we're gonna pick taking a look at all these chart analysis on the market on this show every day of the week, and that is why you don't want to miss the show, the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show, coming live to you every day, 10 a.m. SCST time, 8 a.m. GMT time, depending on where you're watching, or 8 a.m. UTC, depending on the time zone you are using. All right, without rounding up, we can't round up the show without knowing what the sentiment looks like. So let's take a look at the fear and greed index. So we know what the sentiment looks like, and I'll see the sentiment is now greed. The fear and greed index is now greed. Now is greed. Yesterday was greed, last week was fear, and last month has now shifted to greed. So you can see the sentiment for yourself. All right, thanks for joining me on this wonderful episode of the show. I'm really glad you are watching till now. Please, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share, and do not forget to follow me on other social media platforms.